Good morning or good afternoon, as the case may be. Welcome to another CRM Convo. How should we say? 100% empathetic customer experience, 100% customer-centered company management, perfectly fitting software and processes. These sound like dreams, but that is the pitch of an ebook by our distinguished guest. Today we have Georg Blum, who's been in business for over 30 years and has seen several positions as marketer and other roles. Today, Georg is a self-employed owner of 3 companies and has been for over 20 years. And he started the CRM Council in the German Dialogue Marketing Organization. With his company 1A Relations, he focuses on CRM and marketing tech consulting, leadership management, and benefit-driven consulting. He's also a lecturer on at least 3 bodies for studies on CRM, HR management in the context of CRM, and direct marketing. So clearly, we've got somebody who knows his stuff with us today. Welcome. The basis of our dialogue today is going to be Georg's ebook. Why do I not have the title in front of me? I suck.
The CRM-Manifesto.
It's very easy, Marshall. It's a CRM-Manifesto.
Yes. It skipped my mind. I think I have a little bubble in my brain today.
No problem.
And that book is the result of 30 years of experience and wisdom. And it encourages you to think and rethink your current knowledge. So, about this CRM Manifesto, let's start at the basics. What is CRM to you?
How long?
I should probably let you say hello and all that.
Okay, hello and good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to everybody here in the call. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Marshall, and thank you, Thomas and Ralph. Also, thank you for inviting me. It's my second session with you, and Marshall, you give me the idea to say what is CRM for me. That's a very difficult question for somebody like me, because how can I define it? For me, it's a good relationship is if it lasts very long. It lasts on a trust, on a base of trust, and not each touch point, but the majority of touch points you have or we have with a company. It should be on a high level, on the highest level, for example, and so. My satisfaction is on a high level. My recommendation will be high to say okay to my friends, to my family, to everybody. But on the other hand, CRM is not my own perspective on the private privacy perspective or the private perspective. It's also for the company, and I will make a quote like it was. Ralph remembers him very good. It was Peter from was a professor in Landshut. Peter. No. But Pete, maybe the name will come up. Peter said,
as usual,
the customer value and the value for the customer have to be in a balance. Yeah. So the company has the customer value on the company side, and on the other side, the customer has his value, what he gets from the company. And if these both levels are in a good balance, more or less in a good balance, then customer satisfaction and CRM is well done, and is on a very good level, because they like each other and respect each other. And for both sides, and that's for me a very important thing. For both sides, it makes fun. And so for this manifesto, for me, it's also the thing why does very often companies investing in CRM, in software, but they did not, and they does not have fun. Question mark.
And they don't have a process to that the software shall help with.
And for
Other
for
question.
you,
There is let's say another competing acronym right now, only 2 letters, CX. What's the difference between CM and CX in your eyes?
Ooh, tricky.
Yeah, also tricky.
Of course, we are not here to ask the easy questions.
I remember it's in America. There's the roasting sessions, and so
Yeah.
No,
well, I'm hosting another show. It's called In the Hot Seat. Let's put you there.
Yeah, okay, the hot seat, yes. No, CX, it's a custom experience, and it's also on the very difficult, and also it could be a very easy answer. Customer experience is for me if the customer goes in contact, digital, analog, or something, as you like it, as you name it, and this period of contact, this touch point, leading to a result that he was happy. For example, I go to the bakery, and I say to the person on the other side of the desk, I want to have some pieces of cakes or something like this. And she said, "Oh, wait a minute. There's an old woman also at the desk, and this old woman wants to pay, but she has bad what it's called bad eyes. She can't and she can't count the money on the desk. And so the salesperson said, wait a minute. I have to finalize a little bit these kind of looking in the wallet. Okay, she's counting out. Okay, for example, €5 or $5 or something like this, and she helps this old lady to get their what it's called their things done. And so that was for me custom experience to look to these scene, and also for me it's a bakery called Bäckerei Junge in Germany, the Bakery Junge, and it's well known in the north of Germany, and they have a very well trained persons in the subsidiaries, and if you are going in, you have fun with these persons. You have trust in these persons, and you are going to the next breakfast time, or to buy your cakes or something like this, the bread. You're going to Bäckerei Junge because it's fun, it's nice, it's good, and it's not the product. Yeah, the product is good, also good, but it's the service. That's for me a good experience and a bad experience. It was yesterday, because I has moved from the south, from Germany to the north, to the island Pearl, and Google asked me, do you want to change something because it's the Eastern holidays? Yeah, and I say, okay, Google, give me the idea that I have not only to change the opening hours for my company, I can also change the address. I changed the address, and my account was shut down because
oh my.
Yeah, they assumed if I change the address from the surrounding of Stuttgart to Inselpöhl, they assume that I am hacking this account. So I have to. I get an email after this shutdown. So the message was your account was blocked. Your 1A relation Google account was not visible in the net. And 10 seconds later, I received an email. Please, you can give us some information why you want to change the address. And okay, I sent my piece of paper of the registration, here in the what it's called from the Notar, from the Amtsgericht. I don't know the name in English.
Authority.
From the authority, and then 2 hours later, my mail or the mail entrance said, "Okay, that's okay. We accept your information."
Strange,
And it could be 24 hours. It lasts maybe 24 hours. Then we set free your account. I say, "Oh, that's wonderful! A wonderful customer experience." Yes.
And they tell you it's all for your own safety and your own good.
So the normal idea, I said to my colleague after this session, I said to my colleague, let's learn from this, because Google is well known for his things, yes, but every customer who will want to change his address, please ask him, are you sure? Are you the responsible person, or something like this? But a little process will help. I don't know why Google does not take this chance. So bad experience, and I say it's not all good what Google does.
Now, my favorite fun question, as we are talking about fun. Marshall already probably knows what's coming now. Who's in charge of customer? Who's in charge of customer experience?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Why?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So everybody in the company is responsible for the fun. Everybody. It's the secretary, people in the reception desk. It's the CEO. It's the what it's called, the Hausmeister, the facility manager, or something.
The janitor, yeah.
Yeah. So everybody is responsible. So the culture, if the culture is customer centric, everybody, also in the logistics, is and in the financial services, everybody is responsible. For example, it's an old example. A friend of mine, he told me the story. He was in the financial office, and he heard that a colleague from him is talking to a customer, and so, for example, it's you have to pay within 2 days, and if you don't pay, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, the colleague of him is telling the customers in a very bad manner what you have to do. After the call was finished, he asked, to whom you have called and to whom you have said these rude words. I don't know the company name, but it was one of the best customers of this company. Yeah, and my colleague said, "Oh, what a mess! What a pity!" So everybody, and that's who is responsible. Everybody, and who is responsible to empower the people. That's the C-level. Yeah, to be it's like walk the talk. It's like to be a role model. Yeah, and for me, a very brilliant example at the moment is, maybe you know him. It's Bill Anderson from Bayer. And maybe if you follow me on sometimes on LinkedIn in the last days, it's very often an example from Bill Anderson, because Bayer is a 102,000 people large company. It's a ship. It's not a ship. It's a the big ships.
Super tanker. A super tanker. Yeah.
A super tanker of a company. Yeah. So how can I change a super tanker's direction in some months? No, it's not possible in some months. You need maybe years. But he tries to change the way of thinking of the total company. He has my total respect, because maybe he failed, but if he wins, it was a brilliant kind of management. It's not management, it's leadership. And so if he said, if he said in one of his interviews in the last weeks, we want to bust the bureaucracy. We want to reduce, for example, maybe 10 to 20% of the people, but we want to be more customer centric. So they reduce on the one hand, the quantity of people. On the other hand, he said, we will be much more customer-centric than before. And also his example from Roche, he was primarily one of the CEOs of Roche. It's also a big company. And so he said, it's not only that we want to be customer-centric, we on the C level, we have to empower the people, we have to renew our KPIs, because the old KPIs, because the structure is functional. The KPIs are steering the functions, not the customer activities, not the customer orientated processes. So we have to create new KPIs, and that's one of my favorite example in the manifesto. If a company has his org chart like a functional chart, forget it. You can't be customer orientated. It's not possible, because everybody thinks in his function, e-commerce, social media, logistic, sales, service. They have their own aims. They are thinking like silos. Everybody knows what silos means. But if you want to avoid silos, you have to reorganize. You have to change all these KPIs, and also the C level has to rethink their role. And that's, and you asked me what are anxieties, what it was the last sentence before we go online. The big fear of C level is that there is a change also their role. Yeah, I think that's the big problem for customer centricity. If you have no fears of change, you will do it. For example, you know him. It's Tobias Mirwald from the German software company Adito. He said 2 years ago, he said, I know we are not in a good organizational structure. We have success, a lot of success, but we want to be more customer-centric. And they started a project where he said 2 years ago, I don't know what is the next milestone, what is the finish. I don't know where we stand in 2 years, but let's go. And to make a long story short, they used the holacracy, sociocracy approach, and try to think what is a good approach for Adito to renew the organization, to renew the collaboration, to renew the KPIs, to renew the complete company. Yeah. And now they are 2 years later, they are very happy, and there's a culture you never expected before. So it's an exciting way.
Now, whenever I ask this question, who is in charge of CX or customer experience, I miss one word, the customer. Why could that be? Nobody talks about the customer. Everybody talks about the company.
Could the customer be responsible?
We do talk about the customer in the sense that they're at the center, but that very often.
And just look at this word. So who has the experience?
Yeah, it's also both. The customer experience is also for my example from Bakery Junge. Yeah, also for if you have a good experience as a salesperson or a service person with your customer, you are also happy. Yeah, you are also you have fun. Yeah, it's also for the customer. If both sides are happy, yeah, if they balance the value to the customer value, or in this case, in your question, if the fun factor is on the same level, then it's good. Yeah.
Well, for me, it's
sorry, Thomas. One important sentence for me in the manifesto is the employer loyalty is also responsible for the customer loyalty. Yeah, and if the employer is happy, customer is more or less happy. But if the employer is motivated and is spreading fun the culture is good, so the customer
Mhm.
normally have also fun.
Yeah, that's akin to the sentence, only happy employees create happy customers.
Yeah.
Which hopefully Esteban doesn't listen in. He would be rile us right now. But again, so why isn't anybody talking about the customer as the one as having the experience? Why don't we talk about engagement only from the company side? Because they can't do anything but engaging me. And they don't have any control over my mood. If I woke up with after bad sleep, probably with a hangover or whatnot, your good intentions may or may not have a result that is not intended. So why does never, ever anybody talk about the customer being in charge of the customer experience, of their own experience?
Yeah, it's on the one hand you have, I give you right, or I agree, but on the other hand, I expect the customer, the customer has an intention to have a relationship with you or with a specific company. So the bad vibes, for example, if you had alcohol the night before, okay, that's one part. But if you have a big neck because something is going wrong, because you have a complaint, okay, so you go to the phone, or you go to the live chat and say, oh, you have done so bad, the service was worst, and so something like this. So if a customer comes in or enters your service with this intention, that's the biggest challenge, to keep him, who pull him up to a good level. And so then the best experience is you anticipate what are maybe possibilities to make him kind. The next is to listen, to the active listening, to ask these open questions, these why, these W questions, yes, with why and something like this.
How?
Yeah, and how? And in Germany we called it the W questions, but
W
you know
questions,
what I mean. And also for this, I had a very interesting example. For it's 20 years ago, I think. We had a project at 1&1, so the famous internet company. It's like it's similar to in the US. It's what is it's Sprint Telecom or something like this in America. And 1&1 asked us as the challenge is, how could we improve the retention rate? And so we had the 3 months project, and after 3 months we go to the C level and say, okay, that's our results, but it was no big impact. The leverage was maybe forget it. So for example, but okay. And then it was Oliver Moos, maybe you know him. Oliver Moos and I, we are traveling to Zweibrücken in the Saarland, where is the call center situated. And then we took 1 day only to hear the 7 people. They have the objective, the incoming calls from people, from customers, they want to quit. They want to avoid and they want to retain these customers, these 7 people. Yeah, and we only listen and not more. And after this day, everybody of us was clear what is the problem and what is the challenge. We had 4 people. They are only saying, okay, you want to quit, okay, let's make a check, let's make an entry in the formula, and that's it. And thank you and goodbye. Yeah? 3 persons are able to help more or less 80% of these incoming calls because they want to quit because of a technical problem, because of misunderstanding or something like this. But these 3 people are able to help. And the only activity after this one day session was, and it was not a quit of these 4 people. They were moved in a back office team, but we tried to find in this 100 or what's all around 100 people strong team in Zweibrücken. We want to try also 4 or 6 people. They have these capabilities. They have this a kind of empowerment. They have this culture of and feeling and asking with the customer, and we replaced the 4 with very experienced people. After additional 3 months, and it was amazing. The retention rate goes high to 600%. Only in 3 months, and every idea of reduction, every idea of goodie, every idea of here percentage or their percentage, no impact. The big impact was only the best people sit on the phone and get all these complaints and quits and handle them. And the customers were happy. And the last sentence to this is, we are measuring how long does these people, they come in with a complaint and they want to quit the contract. Yeah, how long that last their contracts after this call? It was more than 2 times longer than the average.
So now that's the perfect hook into the point that dear friend John makes. One of the smartest guys around in the industry. So if you don't know Diginomica, have a look at that publication. So you said the employees need to be kind of empowered, kind of happy, need to have fun in order to provide or with a chance of having a good experience. This is now my paraphrasing of it. Now, all of what we are doing is right now we are doing AI, adding bots, making sure that the majority of interactions, or as many as possible interactions, are getting automated, which puts employees in fear. Oh my God, my job may be threatened. My position may be threatened. My role is threatened. So how can we navigate past that dilemma?
It's I think a very not only interesting, because interesting is a general word, but it's one of the most important questions. It's not only for the normal people. It's also maybe you remember I said some minutes ago. It's also the fears also in the second level or in the first level of the company. They have also fear, because I had lots of talks with managing directors, and they said, you are right with your idea of the reorganization, but what should I do with Mr. X or Madam Y or something like this? Because they are so long in the company, but if I had to change their position, if they have to change their role, maybe they can quit, or they have fear of something like else. And I say, hey, let's talk about the chances. Let's not talk about the fear, but okay, you have to approach them. You have to talk them with respect. But the question is, no, it's not the question. It's the experience I had. We had in my first customer-centric reorganization was a reorganization overnight. So we had no discussion of what is your idea, do you want to participate with this? No, it was in the years of 93 at Yves Rocher. The headquarter of Paris is coming to Stuttgart and say, okay, from now on we are changing all things. And after 3 months, everything was in a good shape. The culture was brilliant. The results are brilliant. So it could be a good idea to change overnight. It could be. There is a risk. Okay. If you take the long way, the long road to make some workshops, to integrate all the stakeholders or some very important stakeholders, you create, for example, a CX team, and it lasts, for example, 2 years. Maybe it's provocant, but I'm not sure what is the better way, because you need 2 years, maybe you need 3 years to change the supertanker. And so if there is an idea, or there's somebody is not sure that it's the right way, he makes it he gives you the idea to say, let's think about this idea, let's talk about, maybe I have another idea and something like that. So if you are not going straight, it could be more or less an average of that, what we have done at Yves Rocher, because we are switching completely. There was a plan. We have implemented the plan, and after 3 months of tumbling a little bit and of discussing, and okay, there maybe some people are quitting, but after this period of 3 months, the company was for 3 or 4 years very, very successful, because they are thinking customer-centric, they are acting customer-centric, the KPIs were customer-centric. We had 5 target groups, and so 5 teams for each target group or team, and so the company was in a very, very good organizational status quo since 5 years ago, for example.
Thomas, you're muted. I see your lips moving.
But give me a hint, because the other part of the question was, Thomas?
There's so many questions. Still can't hear you, man. So.
Okay, the AI. Okay, so if for me, if we are talking about AI, it depends a little bit on what is the company's customer-centric and process level. It's more or less an entry level. Please avoid, for example, the things with AI. If there's a advanced or an experience level, okay, then take the chances, but be careful, because AI solves not all the problems. It's like our CRM software. We are talking about very often, we had various studies where the result is, okay, now we have invested in a CRM software, we have in a CX software, we have in a marketing automation software, we had a BI software and something like this. But what is the impact now? And I had in my mind, for example, it was 6 years ago in the Martech in Boston. Various speakers are saying the impact was 2%, 5%. It's not measurable. So I have no idea what is the real impact of our software implementation. And so I say, be careful with these new tools, because the sentence, a fool with a tool remains a fool.
Yeah. That's true. So, but I'm audible again, right?
Yeah.
Good. Somehow I managed to switch off my microphone, being hands off. So I don't know. Oops. Yeah. Anyway, so doing an organizational change is quite a big thing. Why do you think that it is not enough to just, in quotes, have a set of KPIs that are aligned to each other and tie into each other and form a kind of a pyramid, so that the whole departmental objectives are the same?
maybe Thomas, you have to translate it in English. The next sentence I have only in German, because maybe it was a sentence I heard in the year 1988. It's a very old sentence, but the first time I heard this sentence, I thought, oh, that's not my philosophy. 5-7 years later, I said, the man has right. I'm talking about Rupert Lai. Maybe the older listeners, the older one in our audience, they remember Rupert Lai. It was also management consultant and very Christian person. And he said, I can quote it in German, please. Wenn du das Denken von Menschen verändern willst, dann musst du die Organisation zerstören. Also, if you want to change the way of thinking, you have to destroy, and that was the important word, destroy the organization.
Wow, it sounds dire.
Yeah, it was hard. I was a student. I heard this sentence the first time and said, "No, that's not my philosophy. I'm a person who is very socializing. He's thinking about how about you, the human. I have to respect all the humans." I say, "Oh, that's not my way." Okay, but some years later, some experiences later, I said, "The man is right. Yeah, you have to destroy if you want to change the way of thinking. You have to destroy the organization, because if you don't destroy it, or if you don't reorganize it, destroy it, it's a hard and strong word, but if you do not reorganize, the old habits don't leave. Yeah, the old KPIs are there, and so you need these completely change. And so it's my,
Okay.
I am convinced in, because 95% of the companies are organized in a functional or in a matrix organization. And what's the problem? The problem is if a process is going over the functionals departments, or over the international
Borders,
borders and subsidiaries. Maybe the manager of Brazil, or the functional leader of sales said, "Oh, that's not coordinated with me. Please stop."
Now we are getting sort of into organizational theory. Why is it then that the same people stay on top? Because if you want to destruct the organization, you need to start where it matters most. And this is not the line of business employee.
Yeah, to overthrow the kingdom, you kill the king.
Yeah.
It's because I know it's a little bit hard. That's the reason why I'm writing a manifesto, because I know that's yeah, you're right, and I think it's also the reason because the most of the changes are not working, because it's, I don't know the name in English. It's a Feigenblatt. It's a
fig leaf.
Yeah.
Fig leaf. Yeah.
A fake leaf. Yes.
No, not fake. Fig. Fig. Fig.
And so,
sorry for my accent.
No.
You're forgiven.
Yes, Marshall can forgive, because I have no idea what it's called. So, no, it's so. If we are coming, I come back to the role model. Yeah, if you want to change, you have to change your own mind. You have to be the first one. You have to change. Maybe you know the what it's called, the pictures. Who want to change? Everybody raise the hand. Who want to be part of the change? Oh, maybe
nobody.
Maybe a second. And who wants to be the first to change? Nobody. Yeah. Yeah. And that, if you want to change, you are the first person. You have to change. You have to change your minds. You have to change your walk. You have to change all things. And it's not easy. I know it. But if, for example, if a C-level is talking about the change, if they are not on the same level, you do not you can't start, because it's more or less it fails. And I give you also an example. Last year we have a company. It was a company of 10,000 employees, 1 billion and 200 million of turnover. They want to make a customer experience, customer care strategy. And the C-level, the responsible, the stakeholder said to me, I don't want to make a big town hall speech to say, now we are changing the company. He asked me, what is your suggestion to communicate and to communicate and to communicate that we have to change? And I said, it's very easy. It's because it's very easy. We are installing, and we do it. We did it. We installed a team of 20 international people, which are chosen from a team. And there's also some people in the team, they apply to be member of this 20-person team. So we have a mixture of suggestions, and we have some applicants. So the team was 20-person in a company of 10,000. The next level was we make them fit. We asked, for example, Franz Riemersma held a speech, and Niels Hafner from Lucerne, and so we had 3 workshops. And after these 3 workshops, we had a big picture of a strategy. After these 3 workshops, we installed a second group, because we need the people not on the second level. We need the people also in the 3rd or 4th level in this company, maybe. And so we had this second group. We called it the execution team, and the first team was called the core team. So these two teams are linked to each other, because the core team was maybe on the second level in the hierarchy, and the execution team are more or less team leaders and managers in the operational offices. But we give to each member of the execution team 1 or 2 responsible people in the core team, and then we have a different communication plan. The core team gets specific communication. How should they communicate in the company to others? The execution team get a special communication plan. How should they communicate in their manner? And also these 2 teams work strongly together. And so the C-level said, well done, because now 12 months later, we have, it's like a snowball to what, it's a lavine, to a
avalanche.
the avalanche. Yeah, the snowball is now it's going in a direction to be an avalanche in the company, because now we are talking about 20 countries are talking about customer centric. The quarterly meetings have the subject that they have to talk about customer centricity, about this customer experience strategy, and something like this. So it's now we are 12 months, but I say we started 12 months ago, but now the big efforts were 6 months ago. So we are starting since 6 months the communication strategy, and that's the very important thing. We are coming from the middle, from the middle of the company, and then go spread all over the company up to the C-level, to all regions, to all levels in the company, and we are aligning new processes. So that's also a very, very important part. All these 2 groups are discussing what are the new processes for the future, thinking about next, like the Kaizen principles of Toyota. Yeah? Each week are sessions for special process, and then we have to reorganize, or they have to reorganize these processes, and then they are put this process into, in this case, to Microsoft CRM. But it's independent which software.
Education and training is what it's
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
That's aside from communication, the big part, training and education, new skills, and so on.
There is one point that you bring forward in your manifesto as well, which is there are gazillions of applications that are used within departments, which, if I draw the conclusion out of what you wrote there, ideally there should be only one. So now this ties into John's comment again. So if you have better technology, then employees could work better in terms of working in a customer-centric way. So what is your view on what is wrong with current applications/systems or organizations that makes those organizations use that many different applications instead of concentrating on a few?
The first problem is that lots of companies have too much applications and too much tools. And for example, there are some studies from Blissfully or other ones. There's a big list of tools, but most of these lists are not used completely, or only some percentages. And so that's the first part. So to eliminate tools. Next part is to eliminate bad customer value. Yeah. So to make more or less a good relief to your employees, to your organization, because most companies are on a 100% overload, or maybe 120% low overload. So they have, first of all, to reduce the load, the workload. So less customers, less processes, maybe also some hierarchies, less hierarchies levels. Yeah. So to be much more effective. And then if you have these, I say 80-20 Pareto principle, if you have this relief of 20%, then you can implement a tool, or you can train a tool in a better way, because normally the tools are not bad. In the most of the cases, we know the tools are not bad, but there's no time to train. There's no time to educate in these processes. There's no time to educate what are the steps in the process, what are the how to handle it. And I compare it a little bit. I always forget what it's called in English, but it's the 4 times 100 meter sprint, or the
relay race. Yeah.
Relay race.
The relay, yes, it's thank you for the hint. The relay race. How can I put the relay from the first to the second to the second to the third to the third to the fourth, and in a high speed? Yeah, that's custom experience, because if you are getting a question, zoom in the company, zoom to the customer. But if there is the silo is thinking, okay, that my prioritization is now another, so please wait, maybe tomorrow, today I'm not able to respond, and something like this. So these kind of thinking over the silos and over the new processes, you have to train, and then the people are working better together. Yeah. And next part is also the average handling time, for example. So you have some customers, they had more value for you, some had less value for you, and don't steer the company, for example, as an average, because every customer needs an individual treatment.
Yeah, every call is different.
Yeah, if, for example, you get a budget of 5 minutes to treat your customer, say, okay, that's nonsense, because some customers needs 2 hours and some needs 1 minute, because they are not the 1 minutes are not worth the 2 hours. They have potential or something like this, or they are worth to talk about 2 hours. But don't steer with average KPIs. Give a new allocation of budgets. And Thomas, you asked some minutes before. And I said this Rupert Lai sentence, to destroy the organization. It's also to destroy these old KPIs, because if you have a new KPI and you get paid for this new KPI, you will follow this new KPI. And if exists any old KPIs, you will follow the old KPI, and that's clear.
Yeah.
So that's typical human. And so if we know this, we have to change. It's very simple. It's a little radical. Yeah.
But you're touching another interesting point. So you're basically saying people are loaded. They have plenty of work to do in a given point of time, or well, at any given point of time. Now they also need to be trained in new applications, because those new applications, for whatever good or bad reasons, are implemented. So, but what needs to happen, and this is what you depict as well in your manifesto, is that surely in order to get to a better process, you first need to relieve the people.
Yeah.
So how to manage that? Because if you add another system or a change process, then first of all you add effort, because the business as usual needs to be done as well. So how to get that space for people that they can do the new stuff or can get into the new stuff.
We have mentioned it. We have talked it maybe a quarter of minutes ago, 50 minutes ago, for example, because it's also the C-level. Because if the C-level is asking this question, that question, he's asking questions with it, and puts or throws these questions in the organization. They do not think about what is the current workload. They have a problem and they ask the question, and they want to have a very quick answer after 1 hour, maybe 1 second. But I had a very good experience with my team, and say, if I give you something to work, say to me, what is the work you don't do, or you cancel on the list, for example, that you have the time to do this new question, this new task. So the first part is also C-level is responsible to steer in a new way. For example, to say, okay, it's like a tree in the trees. They are growing and growing, and in autumn you can earn the fruits. You can make harvest. Yeah, but in winter, you have to cut some branches, for example, because a bad branch or a bad process you have to cut. And so, in my opinion, and it's also an idea from another colleague of a very inspiring consulting colleague. He said, "You C-level, do you know really how your company works?" And most of the answers say, "Yes, I know what in my company is going on," but they do not know, because that's my a good friend of mine said, in nearly every company, there's a front stage and there's a backstage. The front stage is the official processes, the official ways of working together. But our colleagues and our employees are not stupid. And so if they are under pressure, or if they have other ideas how to solve a problem, they go to the backstage. Yeah, they go directly and to colleagues and say, okay, don't go the official way. I go my unofficial way. And so the
Mhm.
good processes are on the backstage. And so the most C-levels don't know what is going on the backstage because they are not official. And so in the science, there's a very interesting name of it. What it's called in English, it's called the useful illegality.
Okay, good
Yeah,
term.
I hope it's understandable.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
in German.
At
we
least
said
for a
it's-
German it is. For
Yeah,
a German it is.
So it's a practical illegality. So it's a good process because it's very fast. It's more or less cheap. It's very effective and efficient. But nobody, it's not rare, but the majority do not know this process. And so, if you are on a C-level position, try to think about what is front stage and what is backstage. And then Bill Anderson, I mentioned it. He also said, "Okay, we make surveys with our with our employees, and everybody was happy. Everybody said everything is okay." But he said something is not okay. I feel it, but people don't tell me. Yeah, and so he's going directly to the people and say, what is in your opinion going wrong? And the one and only sentence he said in this interview, it was at Roche Pharmaceutical. He said the typical sentence of every people was, I have no responsibility to get things done. And that was the backstage. Yeah, I want to have an impact. I want to be go ahead with some things, but I can't because our system controls us. Yeah, and so the last sentences I have because I saw it on some hours ago because it's where it is.
Well
I
hidden.
put it on the side.
It's needed, so it's well hidden.
Yeah, and the result of his personal survey was the leaders are not in the control of the system. The system is controlling the leaders, and that's also for me a sentence to say, like Rupert Lai, please destroy the old organization. For example, like Bill will do it, or like Bill is on the way. And at the end, okay, like Marshall asked some minutes ago, yes, it could be also good to say to the C-level team, one or two are not appropriate to the new roadmap, because you need some new skills, you need some new kind of leadership. You have another way of leading people, because customer experience and customer management is not asking your next level what I can do, what I'm allowed to do. Customer experience is, I have a customer in front of me, if live chat or if on the desk, and I have to deliver. I have to answer, and that's that's an ability, and that's also an empowerment of doing.
Yeah. If you have a contact with that guy with the leadership quote there, ask him why he didn't use manager instead of leader, because those people don't lead, they manage. Would be interesting to get. Would be interesting to get that answer.
I think he had an answer, but I
well, if you have contact, just
I can give you.
Would be great. I'm curious about that.
I can give you the name. It's Mark Poppenborg. Mark Poppenborg. He said this.
Okay, let's do that outside, because we are on top of the hour, and which went amazingly fast again. which means it's high time for our famous last questions. or famous last words, basically, which is
First questions and then words, yes.
famous last question, famous last words, not famous last question. But bummer. So what do you think in general? So in summary, what does it take to set up a successful CRM system or technology, or both?
Yeah, the first is the relief to relieve your organization. I repeat it once again, and I emphasize it once again because most of the companies have a good load or maybe an overload. For example, not the company. It's the 15 to 20% of the important people. Yeah, for example, Gallup's engagement index. It's also a very famous study, and I've analyzed it for years because it's in my lecture. One of the important part. The percentage of the important people in the company is all around 50%. Yeah, so 50% are driving the company, 70% are more or less aligned, and 50% more or less quit in the minds. But these 50% which are driving the company, if you know them, yeah, do not overload them, relieve them. That's the first part, because they need room for improvement. They need also time for relaxing. That's the one part. Next is, that's very fast, the 80-20 Pareto rule. 20% of your customers are bad, kick them away. Customer value calculation, and then say who is for the next years not good, kick them out. Think about the tree. Every year, every winter time every year,
Springtime, yeah? You need to prune it, yeah.
Yeah, cut bad branches, and then reset. And like Marshall and you said, reset the kind of thinking how we are working together, make new processes, in my mind, destroy the organization and put it in a new way, in a kind of way of thinking to customer segments, customer groups. For example, you have 3 segments, make 3 customer management teams. If you have 5, make 5. For example, the key account management for the audience, maybe somebody is asking, what is a good example? The key account management is a typical customer management example, because everybody says we have.
Marshall needed to drop. He has a follow-up commitment.
Okay, so
I'm still there.
Yeah, no, but the key account management is a typical example to say that's to define a customer group and define a team which is managing these special segments. And so you do not make it only for the key accounts. You make it for all customer segments, all important segments. For example, also for the bad ones. So you have also a treatment for the bad ones. At Yves we had one for the bad customers, and how could they manage so that they are more or less on the black line and not in the red line. Okay, then we had this training. Everybody who is playing a music instrument, who is doing gym and making sports, who knows if I don't train, I lose my constitution, or I can't play a complex song or something like this. Training, and it's for me one of the most important things. And so the role of HR is necessary to get a new role, because customer experience need a training system. It needs a coaching from the HR team. And last recommendation is, if there is an audience of Germany, everybody knows that the slogan from Edeka, we love food. Yeah, wir lieben Lebensmittel. You have, for this customer experience, for this culture, you have also maybe a slogan in your company. Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. And after some weeks and after some months, the majority of the team has it in his mind and thinks about, we love food, or we love our customers, for example. So walk the talk and communicate and communicate and communicate. So it's training and communication for me, in combination with a new organization. That's the success factors.
Okay, that makes great famous last words. Thanks a lot. And thanks a lot to John and whoever else still is there. So LinkedIn shows me we didn't scare you guys away. That's highly appreciated. So thanks also to you, Georg,
thank you, and
for your time and insight. And well, there will be a next time, a next week. Let's go with this for
with the outro.
Next week, well, yeah, when we are checking in. No, next week we are checking in with another German guy, by the way, Andreas Schuster, who we will talk about why conferences are still valuable. And they are. So thanks a lot, everyone. We are going backstage now. Bye.
Bye, everybody.